The Beatles have just dropped a brand new track, 30 years after the last one, which is kind of mad, really. Interesting sort of story surrounding this one. This was originally recorded in the 70s as a demo by Lennon. He wrote it on his piano in his living room, plinking away, and I guess decided not to do anything with it. I'm not quite sure why it never saw the light of day, but it didn't. And it sat in a cupboard for the next 25 years, whereupon Yoko Ono discovered this track and gave it to the Beatles, gave it back to McCartney, and the surviving three at the time actually attempted to finish the song, but I guess the shoddy 1995 technology didn't give them the ability to isolate Lennon's vocals. They couldn't take it off the sort of piano backing track. So I think as a result, they again sort of abandoned ship. And then very recently, McCartney went back to work and using AI, which is a controversial topic, especially in the creative industries at the moment. But they used AI to separate John Lennon's vocals from the backing track at last, which I have seen done with other tracks, usually more as like a joke thing, 'cause it's like quite funny to like hear what Rick Astley sounds like, just the vocal take. Like they always sound silly out of context, especially if you're like recording music, listening back to vocal tracks when they're just isolated and on their own, especially with no effects or anything, that is often quite funny. But anyway, they managed to separate it out, so McCartney and Ringo Starr decided to finish the track off, and it came out a few days ago, so we are going to watch it together. So let's have a look at that. From what I understand, the footage is mostly old footage from the I think it spans most of their career actually, and I think goes all the way to modern at the moment. So we'll see. It's going to be a bit of a heartstring tugging montage, I think. Oh, George. They all look so much better when they're old, apart from maybe McCartney. But, old George Harrison's a badass. It is weird hearing Lennon's voice. It's a little bit, I'm sure I'm going to end up saying this a bunch of times throughout the song. It's a bit cringy, like old footage, I assume, of Lennon, looking out over the sunset, and they're like, "What's he dreaming about?" It's really, really old school Beatles. It's even older. I don't know. We'll see how this rest of this goes. And also, there he is. That was quite jarring, having suddenly old Paul McCartney come in, which is kind of funny. But this video was also directed by Peter Jackson, for the record, which is interesting. But he's also done a documentary on them about Let It Be when they're recording their last album. So I guess it makes sense. But yeah, Peter Jackson, the one and only. Alright, it's Thomas the Tank Engine. It's weird seeing the two surviving ones jump up to like old age and sort of like go in between. I mean, McCartney's 81 now, I think. I'm not sure how old Ringo is, a bit younger, I think, but still, I might be wrong on that. This is I should probably listen to the song. Oh god. It looks like a fucking Red Nose Day song recording this. We all know you're not a singer, Ringo. I do like the song, it's quite soulful. Ooh, nice little string section. I wonder how much of that was part of his original composition or idea. Ah, this is weird. That's really weird. Now I'm getting like ABBA's new tour kind of vibes. Oh, I really don't know how I feel about this video. That's kind of cool. I like that. They should have definitely taken the more psychedelic route, I think. I like having Sgt. Pepper era guys kind of like in the front with them. That's... Ah, there you go. There's the look passively and pensively into the screen. I quite like some of those composition shots. I don't know why they look better when there's like different angles of perspective. When they're just standing in a line, it looks really jarring. I kind of like the sort of longing look back as it kind of pans forward to modern Ringo. It's kind of, well, it is kind of sad. Yeah, I don't like this shot at all. This is weird. Especially because it's very obvious that they're not lip syncing to the song, which I guess is what you're going to do unless you did more AI stuff, which I think I would have hated more. I'm almost getting like bad lip reading vibes. I don't know if any of you have ever seen those very famous YouTube videos from back in the day. Probably still make them actually, but anyway, where they kind of just do their absolute best to catch like the end half of a word that looks a bit like another one. There's lots of very clever editing and shots that don't include their mouths. I really like the orchestral part in this. It really accentuates it. That's a good shot too. Ah, very good. It's a very beautiful chord progression. Oh, that's fucking eerie. I don't like that. I wouldn't want young me photoshopped right next to old me. I like that guitar line as well. It's very dreamy. Gives me kind of Hawaii vibes. That's weird as well. Also shows just how much variation Ringo's put in his drum patterns over the year that they very easily found another shot of him younger doing the same, the exact same riff. Weird that Peter Jackson did this. I don't know why. I expected more. That's kind of cool. I like that as a compliment. Also, modern, or older George Harrison looks so fucking grumpy most of the time. I do really like the song, to be fair. It's a really kind of beautifully melodic change. I'm not good enough with my music theory to tell you how that's being done, but they do a really nice job of transitioning from a kind of like not exactly major, but that's last minor chord, whatever it is on the riff is really, really effective. Nice little end out as well. See, this stuff I like. It's sort of more montagey. Some of those composite shots were really, really jarring. That's a nice ending as well. Oh, fucking hell, a super sad ending, Jesus. Well, that was certainly a thing. I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest. I liked it. I liked the song. I definitely liked the song. It was very sad. I'm not going to lie. I don't think that's going to be a track that I pick up and listen to a lot. It's a bit heavy. You know, it's like, what was it? There's a really good Chris Cornell cover that they released after he died, When Good Does Bad or something like that. I'm going to get that backwards now, so tell me what it actually is in the comments, please. But anyway, I listened to it like twice, and it's amazing, you know, and Chris Cornell's voice is obviously sublime and melancholy, but god damn, just hearing that posthumously, it's a hard job, and as a result, I don't really listen to it very often, so I think I'll probably file this one under the same category. I like the song. I like the way that they've sort of taken Lennon's original thing and kind of expanded upon it. I'd be very interested to know how much of the instrumentation that this turned out to have was ever part of the plan, or if it even got to that point, or whether or not it was literally just Lennon, you know, doodling in his living room and it never kind of got any further than that. So I do like that. It's very effective. Yeah, no, I like the song. The video I have mixed feelings about. I think if they'd taken a more psychedelic route, it would have been better. If they'd done more kind of hippie colours and lights and had, yeah, just kind of more dream-like, the sort of weird composite shots. And I know they weren't trying to make you feel like it was real, like it was very obviously, you know, a bit abstract, but still, some of those shots are really weird. And if I was Ringo or Paul, I absolutely wouldn't want that to be the way the video is shot. I'd just be, ugh, yeah, I don't know. A grim reminder of mortality, I guess, but that's yeah, it's an interesting one. Well, we'll see whether or not that actually remains the last ever Beatles track to come out, even though You know, I don't know how much longer McCartney's going to be capable of doing this stuff, so we'll see. But yeah, what did you think? What's your favourite Beatles song? Do you think the video was creepy, or was it like kind of wholesome and nice? Yeah, let me know in the comments below. It helps us with the channel. Check out my other videos. I actually make music myself, so feel free to have a look at the original music playlist down below and help me out there. And I will see you on the next one. Peace.